For the final episode of this season, I wanted to keep it short and take a brief look back at the first quarter of 2024. Similar to last year, from a consumer's perspective, it was great. Lots of well-received games came out, and if you're an RPG fan, you certainly had a lot to choose from, with titles like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Unicorn Overlord, Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of the Ronin, and one early access hit, Enshrouded, all coming out in these 3 months. Apart from RPGs, there were surprise hits in other genres too, with most people talking about games like Palworld, Helldivers 2, and Balatro. This quarter also saw the release of titles like Tekken 8 and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which may not have been overwhelming hits, but they both got good reviews from their core audience. Skull and Bones finally came out without being delayed again, and immediately got overshadowed with the announcement that Microsoft will be releasing Sea of Thieves on PlayStation 5. The consensus for Skull and Bones seems to be that although it does have small patches of fun in the endgame, as an overall package it doesn't really feel like a must-buy title, especially at full price. There were other interesting titles too, like Pacific Drive and Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. They sadly didn't get as much attention as some of the other big games that came out this quarter, but they both look like titles that will have a long life cycle in terms of sales, even if their launches were a bit quiet. So on the whole, consumers seem to have a great quarter, a great beginning to the year. Sadly, the people who make the games that we enjoy, the developers, did not have such a great time. More than 8,000 jobs are estimated to have been lost in this quarter alone. This is so scary because in the entire year of 2023, a little over 10,500 jobs were lost, and in just 3 months of this year, we have seen almost the same number of jobs gone. This is a huge problem for 2 reasons. One, it suddenly floods the job market with an excess of experienced candidates, which will make it extra difficult for less experienced people or fresh graduates who are competing for the same few jobs that are available. 2, this will further damage the industry's health as a whole, because this will discourage students from considering a career in video games once they graduate. Even before these mass layoffs, the video games industry was considered to be very unstable, which is why a lot of engineers and artists usually pursue careers in other industries. Looking at the larger picture, with generative AI leaving everyone wondering about what sort of jobs will be available for the future, for young graduates, starting a career in the video game industry might seem like an unnecessarily huge risk. So there will certainly be some long-term implications of the current scenario. When even established companies like Sony and Microsoft are worried about the rising costs of development and start cutting back thousands of jobs, it is certainly a time to re-examine the entire business model of making games with an intention to protect the health of the industry. As someone who is still in the very early days of game development, I will do my best to not learn some of the habits that have contributed to the situation of the industry as we see it today. But that is a topic for another day. For now, it's time to wrap up the second season of QC Done. Thanks for watching and see you in the next season.